going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Daily News Recap. It is Tuesday, the 18th of April, and we've got a bit of news surrounding, obviously, suspensions and tribunals, and then the injury reports obviously coming out today. So let's get stuck into the news. So the big one is that GWS have accepted Tom Green's one-match suspension, so he will be missing the game against Brisbane this weekend, which is unfortunate for all of his owners. We were sort of hoping that they would challenge it, potentially could get off, but unfortunately he'll be missing. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, let me know in the comments below now that it is confirmed if you are trading or holding. It'll be interesting to see what people are doing now, the fact that it is confirmed. But yeah, not great. Zach Merrett was the other guy that had a dangerous tackle suspension. He actually appealed the decision, but unfortunately his appeal failed at the tribunal, meaning that he will also miss his week and will miss the big Anzac Day clash against Collingwood. So there's going to be a few coaches out that have got Tom Green and Zach Merrett. So it's going to be hard to hold both, I think, over 1 week. So you might have to trade one. I think out of the two, I think I'd trade. Oh, it's difficult who I'd trade, because one part of me wants to say you trade Merrett because he's worth more, but then you probably trade Green because Merrett's more of a lock for a top 8 midfield spot. So it's a hard call what you'd be doing there. But unfortunately, both will be missing this week. Jared Witt's expected to train this week and put his hand up for selection for Gold Coast game against North Melbourne. So hopefully for those coaches that did hold on to a Jared Witt, I know Jake from Hat Chat did that, so hopefully he returns for all of his coaches. But if he doesn't, it is obviously a trade. I'll just get off that train and get on to Team English, I think. Another ruckman, Max Gawn, could potentially be returning this week for Melbourne. He, as long as he gets through training this week, he will be playing by all reports. So, yeah, that could be a big inclusion for Melbourne, but could also impact Jacob Van Ruin's selection, and obviously it would impact Brody Grundy, I would imagine, moving forward. So just keep an eye on that one there. Bailey Smith will miss this week against Fremantle, but he's no guarantee either to come back next week because the Dogs want to take a conservative approach with him. So all the owners for him would have jumped off last week, I would imagine. But if you didn't, I still would, because we don't know how long potentially he could be out for, because they're optimistic he comes back next week, but it's no guarantee. So I would be jumping off if you didn't last week. Will Gould, John Longmire was asked if he'd hold his spot, and John Longmire said that he's a chance he can play down back with a few guys out there. So he may come into the 22 for them this week. Alistair Clark was asked about George Wardlaw as well for a debut, but he said not likely to be this week. It'll be another week we wait for Wardlaw's debut. Probably a good week, actually, because we've got a few rookies to downgrade too, but he didn't play VFL on the weekend because that was in his program and he was going to be rested that week. So he may play this weekend. The VFL have one more game, then he could potentially come in next week. So keep an eye out for a Wardlaw debut in the next fortnight. That would be something. But the big question coming out of North Melbourne's press conference from Alistair Clarkson was that Aaron Hall. So he was asked about Aaron Hall, and it was flagged that he potentially could come back in. So I will read this quote out that I saw in his press conference. So he said, "I think he's played some really good footy, particularly over the last month. He was a little bit the same as George. He's had a soft tissues issues over the past 3 or 4 years, and we deliberately held him back. He had a little bit of Achilles soreness over the summer. For the first couple of rounds, it was difficult to bring him into the side because he wasn't quite ready match conditioning wise, and we were winning, so there wasn't much change. He's putting his hand up and he's nearly ready to go. He'll be a chance to come into the side this week." So that's big. That could really impact Jack Zeeble and Harry Sheezel. It might only be Sheezel, it might be Zeeble, we don't know. It'll be interesting to see if he does come into the side this week or next week and how that will work, but that is just a bit of a flag to throw it there. So interesting point to end off today's day news recap. But if you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I think 884 now, so we're getting a few every video, which is fantastic. So we're inching closer and closer to 900 and then 1,000. So if you haven't subscribed, bottom right hand corner. Also, turn on notifications so you don't miss when I go live or upload any other content in the future. All my social media links are in the description below, so go and follow me across all of those. Leave in the comments below any questions you guys may have regarding any news or just anything in general towards your teams. I'll be back tomorrow with the usual Wednesday trade talk video. Got some interesting options this week, so it'll be good to talk through a few of those. And also, if you haven't checked out my round review video, that went up earlier this afternoon. So if you haven't, make sure you go and check that out. So I'll catch you guys again tomorrow for the trade talk and another daily news recap. So I'm out. Cheers.